What's up, y'all? I am Marcus, also known as Epic Name Bro. Welcome back to Dark Souls 2. Today, we are going to be fighting this lady right here, the Lost Sinner. I know a lot of people are going, lady! But before I fought her, I wanted to test the Red Eye Ring, so I did some co-op. And it worked exceedingly well, as you can tell right here. By the way, this is post-commentary, if you can't tell. But yeah, I got summoned by Auron here, and I just equipped my Red Eye Ring and tried not to attack too much because I just wanted to test to make sure that she was going to keep her aggro on me, and it worked extremely well against the Lost Sinner. So we know it did not work very well at all against the Smelter, if at all, and a lot of people were speculating that, well, perhaps you had to be the host for it to work, but we can see right here that that's very clearly not the case. A lot of people were also saying, well, maybe Lucatiel screws with it, but Lucatiel's here too. That's exactly why I chose this boss to do it, so... yeah, the Red Eye Ring, it works on some bosses and doesn't work on others, and there may be varying amounts. It may work varying amounts too, so... it's just something we're going to have to test out on every individual boss. Smelter doesn't really work very well, but... man, the Lost Sinner will not leave you alone when you have the Red Eye equipped. She just is all over me, man. Nice work, Auron. So yeah, we can confirm Red Eye Ring works even if you're a Phantom, even if Lucatiel's there, but it works different amounts on different bosses. So there we go. But while I was waiting to be summoned for this, I actually got multiple Bellkeeper Covenant invasions. And I feel really bad about all of these. I got 3 of them. And I felt bad every time, but... you get Titanite chunks for them. So, yeah, I did 3 of them, and look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everybody who I invaded here. The Bellkeeper Covenant, this is not fair PvP. This is very pointedly unfair PvP. I mean, that's the purpose of the Covenant. Like, that's the Rat Covenant as well as the Bellkeeper Covenants are for players who like to have an overwhelming advantage in PvP. That's what they are very much specifically designed for. I don't particularly like it. I feel really dirty. I feel like a dirty dog. But I got 3 Titanite chunks. Oh, this was the worst. This was the worst one. I'm so smart. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Smiddles. Smiddles, forgive me. Flame Swathe is a very powerful ability. And like last time I said that if you over-rely on it, I think it's going to hurt your skill level in the end. But it is extremely powerful. If you use it like a useful tool. Oh, God, I'm sorry, Smiddles. That was too much. That was just too much. Lord, I apologize. Got me another Titanite chunk though. Alright, so back to our playthrough, back to what we're actually doing. I'm gonna summon Lucatiel, and we're gonna go grab this Northern Ritual Band that I forgot to pick up the other day. There's a hidden wall right here. This normally isn't open like this. It's one of the ones you just have to mash the button on. I mentioned in the other video that I believe that I missed that treasure here, and I remember it because the Northern Ritual Band is something that casters may want to have. That Bleedstone, actually, really interesting that it's there too. Maybe significant to the lore, actually, because, well, first let's look at the Northern Ritual Band, and then I'll talk about that. The Northern Ritual Band increases spell uses but reduces HP. Once again, this is a secret treasure restored in Aldia. Interesting to me that you find the Bleedstone there with a treasure that was restored in Aldia, and the reason that's interesting is because the infusion stones have a description that indicates that they were trying to imbue Titanite with magical powers in Melfia, but they failed, except it said, but someone must have succeeded, but how else would you explain the existence of this stone? Well, what if they succeeded in Aldia? That was a really interesting thing to me, to find it there together with the Northern Ritual Band. I don't know whether it has significance or if it was just put there randomly, but it seems really random to put a bleed stone together with Northern Ritual Band. I don't know about that. But this boss kicks ass. The bug, y'all. I love how she puts out those fires. Alright, so this boss is very much a female. Now, a lot of people are going to say, but she had a beard in the opening there. Well, there's a couple things I have to say about this. In the first place, I'm not sure if that's a beard or if it's just her long, unkempt hair is also pushing down forward through her mask as well. Either way is possible. It doesn't actually matter. A lot of people are going to probably believe that the boss is not actually this humanoid creature that we're fighting, but instead it was the little bug that crawled into her eye. The reason for that is that this is essentially the Witch of Izalith. Just like the old Iron King was Lord Gwyn, and had Gwyn's soul, this boss has the soul of the Witch of Izalith, which you can get from her in New Game Plus. So it's very interesting, and also if you're still doubting that that's who this is, then when you do this fight in New Game Plus, there are going to be essentially some Daughters of Chaos that join the boss battle as adds as extra enemies. So it's pretty plain, especially when you consider the effect of her equipment, which we'll see later in this episode. Yeah, very much the Witch of Izalith. Xiao Qua also has some dialogue to the effect that the Lost Sinner's actual sin was that she attempted to rekindle the first flame, to relight the first flame. So that's something, I hope we can get that dialogue pretty soon. I haven't managed to get it yet. I'm hoping I didn't miss it somehow. I don't think I did. And Lucatiel is just doing a great job. Like, I'm just kind of basically just hanging back, blocking, playing passive. Don't even really have to do too much. Just let Lucatiel handle business. And a girl, Lucatiel. Praise the teal. We went from Luca please to praise the teal. Soul of the Lost Sinner, prisoner of Sinner's Rise. The Lost Sinner eternally punishes herself for the sins of her past. That's a lot of people were wondering how I could confirm that this was a female. People were saying, I can't believe the guide said it's female, but it's because the game confirms it. But these right here, this is where you can get Daughters of Chaos to come out in the New Game Plus version of the battle. I don't think using a Bonfire Ascetic triggers them. Notice that's the same sort of door that we saw on the Iron Keep. Interesting. Well, kind of interesting anyway. I thought it was interesting. And we got Elizabeth Mushroom and another Fragrant Branch of Yore. So if you use your Fragrant Branch of Yore on Strayed, you can still get another one here by finishing Sinner's Rise. There's more branches of Yore than you actually need to finish the game, so that's good. Meanwhile, in Majula, we're not practicing Santeria, but we are burning this bone dust so that people don't complain. What up, G?
Your soul has grown stronger still. I only hope it brings you what you wish.
The soul and the curse are one and the same. The soul and the curse are one and the same. What kind of soul does an undead have? It's an interesting thing to me that the undead are eternally reborn. They possess a soul that won't die with the body. the body is reborn as a vessel for the soul countless times until it degrades and deteriorates, or rather until the soul deteriorates and you become a hollow.
To the west. They were great, but they're addictive. But it's as if...
And that bonfire ascetic, I'll probably end up getting that bonfire ascetic from her. And a lot of people were saying use it on the Lost Center, so actually I'll probably use it there. I don't think she gets the ads. You see my tight knot chunks. Lord, I apologize. I apologize for those Bellkeeper invasions. But,
I'll be around.
yeah.
Make it back.
If you make it back. I think we'll use the bonfire ascetic on the Lost Center and get that old witch's soul. I need to be back. Plus, I believe that's how we get Flame Weapon, if I remember right. I may be wrong on that. You ain't got nothing new. Lowly indeed, Valencia. Lowly indeed. I don't want to talk to Gilligan. He does have a cool mask.
You need up.
Speaking of cool mask, he now sells this set. The spikes pointing inward suggest that this was not only used to bind prisoners, but also to torture them. A tightly cinched belt around the waist. By now, no one knows what this was, or no one knows who this was used to punish or for what reason. Raises power of pyromancies. Yeah. A tattered skirt that the guilty wear in shame. You definitely want those handcuffs. And the penal mask, it's kind of like the Father's mask from Dark Souls 1.
Thanks for the purchase.
And it's going to be something that you're going to see a lot of min-maxers are going to be wearing. Maybe that mask. There's a couple of other things that have a similar effect, so. I don't like the looks of it. It's the main thing. I don't want to wear it. I came here just to try to get this dialogue from Xiaoqua, but she's being kind of a... She's just being a little furry little pussy is all she's being. That's what she's being right here for me. What are you doing, Xiaoqua? But I am going to abandon the Bellkeeper Covenant. I just don't have the heart for it, man. I mean, I know I'm going to have to get at least rank 2 of it at some point, but... God, man, I feel so bad. Every Bellkeeper invasion just...
Satisfied? I'll be...
They were kind of brutal. they were kind of brutal, and not for me. For the poor folks that they were just trying to ring the bell, man. What up, Kale? So we got a third bonfire. This one lit when we defeated the giant. It's not lit by default. If you go here before you defeat the giant, that bonfire or that fire is not lit on the map. This one's from the Lost Center, so that's from this motherfucking place, and Iron Keep.
Even more flames have appeared. I don't know what causes it.
I do. Badassery, that's what causes fires to show up on that map, dude. And then one day they're gonna turn blue, too. But we are a long way from that happening. The next thing that we really need to take care of, one of the more annoying parts, we have to go talk to Ben Hart. So we have to redo this little run back over here. A lot of people are probably gonna miss this because once you rescue Rosabeth, you need to go back and talk to Ben Hart again, but as soon as you rescue Rosabeth, you probably pull that switch and then the door goes down. So you could go out and talk to him first and then go back in and pull the switch, and that's probably what I should have done, but I didn't. So let's talk to this dude who is basically Bjor crossed with an onion, bro. It's really cool.
Clearing the way was you doing, was it? Didn't think you had it in you, pal. No. That's not like it sounds, no. It was a pleasant surprise, that's all. Name's Ben Hart. Thanks to you, I can resume my journey. If we share the same path, I'm sure that we are going to meet again.
Oh, yes, we will.
I'll repay my debt to you in battle. I swear it by my sword.
That's a cool sword you got, too.
Long, but I'm here to help. Aye, in It's a true man who honours his debts, and I'll see mine paid. I swear it by my ancient sword.
I think I'm allergic to his ancient sword. Maybe it's made out of pine. Alright, probably not even worth the homeward bone over this, like, 2,800. Oh, Elizabeth mushroom. Saint Elizabeth devoted her life to helping the needy by concocting medicine and potions. It's thought her great virtue was matched only by her sublime beauty, but who could say now? So, what do you think about that, Mr. Cool Sardash? But once again, it's probably not even worth this homeward bone, but I did it anyway. Now. Sorry, I get songs stuck in my head. But we're gonna bounce. We're gonna go do the Shaded Woods. We're gonna explore a little bit. We are going to go to Ruined Fork Road. Let's go to the Ruined Fork Road and explore from there, because I want to explore both of the branching paths that come off of that, and then, of course, the third one that leads to where our next ultimate destination is. Once again, I apologize for silences. Pine allergies are just... If you live in the South right now, you're probably seeing the huge clouds of green dust blowing about. Notice how much more powerful we are now than we were the first time we came through here. We are just destroying these buttholes, which is really good because that was our first death of the playthrough, which in hindsight was probably a good thing because I wasn't really having much fun playing the way I was before, and it probably wasn't that much fun to watch, so it's probably a good thing that I had that death. I'll do the no death playthrough. I'll probably just do it all off camera. I don't know. I've gotten to the point where I got my claymore. Here we got another ring of soul protection. Really cool that we can look down here, and that's the road leading to the Ruined Fork path, like from old Akalar. So anyway, we got another ring of soul protection here. We're about to see another old friend. But a lot of people have made the comment that aren't the ring of life protection and ring of soul protection really kind of broken, like really powerful, because it reduces the risk of death to, like, your death is going to cost you 3,000 souls. Like, you're never going to have to risk losing your humanity, losing your souls. BAM! And that's true. They're right about that, but I think that FromSoft really wanted to... BAM! Really wanted to... he dropped a twinkling for us. That's cool, that twinkle sprinkle. Wanted to have players be in human form a lot more. Like, being in hollowed form was... They wanted it to be something that players avoid. Really cool weapon here, too. Cool lore about a cool character, cool cat, cool Sardash. The beloved black axe of the gallant shieldless Lothian, formerly of Ferosa. No warrior matched the ferocity of unbeatable Lothian, but he abruptly retired from the battlefield and was never heard from again. Some say that he grew tired of the frailty of human foes and set off to slay the legendary dragon. Really interesting. It has lightning attack on it. Lightning and physical. Check out that move set. I really like the two-handed swings here. There's no nonsense horizontal swings. None of this diagonal shit that you normally get from great swords and things like that. Or ultra greats, rather. Useful, usable moveset. We also picked up... you sent me, I was just looking at the lightning damage. Golden Falcon Shield used by Volgan falconers. Domestic Volgan soldiers are infamously timid, so it is no wonder that this fierce band of mercenary falconers was hired to compensate. The falconers are rumored to be untrusting of others and demanding of prompt full payment. But no wonder, because they deliver far more than they are paid for. Pretty interesting little shield. Small shield. It's a small shield that does not improve your parry animation. Doesn't have spell parry on it. So I'm not really interested in it. Just to be blunt, like that's kind of how that goes. The Shrine of Winter. Seek mightier souls. Alright, so we cannot go through here until we collect the 4 great souls, I guess you could say. Or we collect a large number of souls. I think the number is 1 million, I believe, that you have to collect to get through. Which, it's interesting that they will let you skip doing all of the Lord bosses. All you have to do is grind out 1 million souls. And a lot of people might feel like, well, how are you going to get 1 million souls if you don't do those bosses? And basically what it comes down to is you can do co-op, you can do PvP, and if that's the parts of the game that you enjoy, you can just do that. And you can skip all of the stuff that you're not having fun with. I'm not sure, but I believe the current speedrun route, and probably the one that will ultimately be the route, is going to use bonfire ascetics to respawn bosses and to increase the number of souls that they drop, and use that to farm souls to skip having to do all that other content. And down this path, red tearstone ring. Greatly reduced in effectiveness from what it was in previous games, but still really cool. You see me just like, where is it? Where is it? It's next to the stone ring, bro. Between the stone ring and the ring of giants. Oh my god, it's right there. Oh my god. Thank you, name, bro. Let's see. Katha, goddess of tears, mourns the undeserving dead, shedding tears as red as blood. It is said that the stone set in this ring is one such tear. Katha is one of the names of the pantheon of gods in Dark Souls 2, but like the name engraved ring suggests, it could very well be one of the same gods that we've always known about. And here we run into another one of the king's doors. Produce the symbol of the king. Well, you know good and goddamn well that I can't. So we're gonna go to the Shaded Woods, and we're gonna go explore that place with those asshole invisible dudes. Prolonged silence from allergies. I really like this atmosphere though, and I just feel bad for squishy builds. If you have a low amount of HP and you're wearing lighter armor, then these guys can straight up one-shot you with backstabs, and that really very much sucks. There are trees that you can hit here that will let out a loud moaning, groaning, wailing sound that will attract these. I don't know if they're supposed to be ghosts or just hunters, very skilled hunters, but that will attract these enemies to them. But I usually don't bother. If you use your eyes, you can normally pick them out pretty well. Or at least I can. I mean, I'm not perfect, don't get me wrong, but I see this guy. He also used his iframes from his roll. You hear I hit that tree right there, that's what caused that groaning sound. It's also going to prompt another one to come to the area pretty soon, I imagine. That's why you see me backing up. When you're clearing an area like this where you don't know where the enemies are, like clear a little safe spot, then push ahead, kill an enemy, and then fall back to the safe spot and just observe to see if another enemy comes. That's my way of doing it. I mean, if you know where they're all at, you can just run through and kill them, cut them down, whatever. Having a weapon with a long reach, such as the Claymore, is really very beneficial in taking out these enemies, because they will roll around and you're not necessarily going to be able to get a really good bearing on exactly where they're standing. Like, their movement combined with the fog can throw off your depth perception. But having a big ass sword can overcome that weakness. Oh, having a big ass sword can overcome a lot of shit. And we'll grab this soul. But the reason that I want to explore here is because there actually are a couple of useful rings. There's one ring that's basically useful in PvP, or rather, it potentially could be useful in PvP. I don't know that it's the best, but and there's another ring that's really good for casters that I do want to show off. And we see this is the way out, so I've found the exit on accident. It's not really what I was trying to do. These trees with the faces are the ones that kind of roar like that. I wonder if those trees grew from giants as well. Giant faces are a little bit different than that, so I don't know. Oh, there you are. And all of these enemies seem to be carrying crossbows as well, so that's not the main threat. The main threat is if you don't see one and it gets behind you and backstabs you, because they can and will do it, and it can and will hurt. Another one bites the dust. Alright, this treasure chest should contain the old sun ring. You're gonna see me just kind of sweep the area to make sure I didn't miss anything. Don't want to get backstabbed while I'm trying to get the treasure, and it's a good thing that it did. Okay. 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 Roll away. Roll away. Roll away. Roll away. Roll away. And die. Jerk. I really do love this atmosphere though. This is really cool. I'm not a huge fan of what they did with the enemies in the area, but I really like the atmosphere. Old sun ring. Well, let's look at it. Explodes at damage threshold. An odd stone containing a fiery heat accumulates power as the user is harmed, then explodes, damaging surrounding enemies while leaving its wearer unscathed. It's basically karmic justice from Dark Souls 1. That was a miracle that, like, I believe it was the partner that sold it, Oswald. And after you took a certain amount of damage, it would explode and knock back enemies and deal some damage. This is essentially that miracle, but in ring form, which makes it much more useful. But I don't know how much damage it takes. I don't remember off the top of my head, and I don't know if it's worth a ring slot. And the reason I wanted to pick it up, oh man. See, if I had less HP or unupgraded armor or anything like that, that would have one-shot me, and that would have been really, really bad. But the thing about the old sun ring, I don't know. There's the Ring of Thorns is another ring, and what the Ring of Thorns does is it has a chance to counterattack by shooting out thorns every time you get hit. And the higher rank of the ring you have, the higher the chance it has to shoot out thorns. The kick-ass thing about those thorns isn't so much the damage that they can do, although they can do substantial damage in some certain circumstances. But they can stagger enemies and knock them back and just get them off your fucking ass, which in PvP, obviously, that can save your life. If somebody's about to combo you out and your Ring of Thorns goes off and staggers them, so you can either finish them or run away or whatever you have to do to reset the situation. Yeah. I'm a believer in the Ring of Thorns. I gotta believe! And I found the entrance. That's not what I wanted either. There is a blue clearstone ring +1 in here. I swear it's in here. We are gonna find it. Love this place. I should have opened my guide up. I have a guide. I have a map of this place, but I actually try not to use the guide too much as I'm playing. I do occasionally look stuff up. And get this fire seed that I forgot before. What up, Vengarl? You're cool.
Back again.
Soul protection. Soul protection is just like life protection ring, except it also magic barrier. I need to start using that on my faith build now that I think about it. But also nullifies petrification, so
Farewell.
and oh right, I wanted to buy some gold pine resin for this guy. So let's do that.
I cannot lie. Oh, and for his but farewell.
I'm not sure if it's supposed to be pronounced Dullahan or Dullahan, but basically that sort of myth is where Vengarl's origins, the idea of this decapitated warrior. I'm 100% positive that was the inspiration for Vengarl. Like 1,000% positive that was in fact the inspiration for him. And I'll let somebody else in the comments below fill you in on all the details of that myth. I remember the first time I ever learned about Dullahan. This is, you know, I'm a gamer. This is really gonna show here, but I was a kid playing Final Fantasy VI, and I was like, Dullahan? Why did you name this enemy Dullahan? And I started researching about it then. There was another one in Vagrant Story, if I remember right. No, I'm showing my age. I love old games. I'm sorry. I do. Always will. Oh, right. I forgot about this one. Chloranthy +1. Now, I conducted a little bit of tests. Remember, I wasn't very impressed at all with Chloranthy +0. So I did another test with Chloranthy +1, and it has significant, it's much more significant than Chloranthy +0. So I suspect that Chloranthy +2 is very much worth using. I just absolutely, completely refuse to use the base Chloranthy ring. It's just kind of shit. Like, it just was not doing anything for me. But this +1, actually, it looks like there's something to it. Just from that little basic test that I just ran there, so. Nothing scientific. Oh, there's the Klubler stone. Alright, there we go. And of course, I also tested this. And I'll show these in 25% speed. You can watch on my faith character. You know, it's several frames. I think that the Klubler stone +2, the max version of that ring, will be something that faith-based casters want to use in PvP. That was a curse jar. We're gonna be running into a bunch of those in the next area, so don't worry if you're wondering what the hell that was. I'll talk about it when we get to more of them. Amber herb. Just kind of making sure that I've explored around. So many jerks to kill, so little time. I wonder how many other games have had Dullahans. It's funny, once one or two games have a creature like that from mythology, then you start seeing them turn up in other places later. It's funny how the culture just kind of perpetuates itself, even as it's transformed. But enough waxing philosophic. We should probably be ending this episode pretty soon. If I can manage to find the exit again. It's easy to find. Remember, just stick to the left side. If you're not wanting these treasures, if you don't want to fool with this shit, just stick to the left. You'll run into Vengarl, and then if you continue sticking to the left, you'll end up here at this bonfire. The Shaded Ruins bonfire, if I remember right. And I should, but maybe I don't. Oh, I did. Man, I'm awesome. not that awesome. And here, just showing off one more time, the clear bluestone ring, a ring that belonged to Fiorenza, the only truly moneyed merchant in Volgan. Used his riches to buy up trinkets. Oh well. It's raising this from 55 to 84. My faith chick went from 65 to 100, so that lightning spear earlier was being tossed with 100. And that's gonna wrap us up for today. I will catch you guys in the next episode. Later. Oh, come on. You know we're going to do bonus PvP. This is actually my first invasion in Dark Souls 2. Not counting those not counting that Bellkeeper shit. I'm talking about first red invasion. You see me rolling around on the guy, just trying to get a reaction out of him, see what he's going to do. And then get a little combo, and I know he wants to swing at me now. I see he's going to start doing attacks. So I had a pretty good read on him. I don't know what I can't really explain that. I just knew he was gonna attack, is really what it came down to. I guess it's because I'd got some damage on him, and right now I know he wants to heal. He's gonna run away and use Estus, but I'm gonna do a sprinting attack, and I thought it was going to finish him, but Estus is powerful as fucking shit. This is something, as an invader, I am going to have to get a lot more aggressive, because you see, he's just healing in my face, and I'm hitting him with strong attacks. And it is not outpacing the Estus. Absolutely insane. So now I'm in trouble because, you know, I can't heal. I mean, I do have a replenishment miracle, but in this situation, not really the greatest. So I just want to make him make some mistakes so I can get a little bit of damage. Alright, now I know he wants to heal again. I am not gonna let that shit happen. Sorry about that, man. I needed a token of spite. I want to join the Brotherhood of Blood. But that is really gonna wrap us up today. No more bonus PvP. That's the end. Except bonus ocarine! Throw it, girl. Throw it. Throw that shoe. Yeah. Bonus ocarine.